Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers. The NBA season's almost over.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to NBA Friday, live on Thursday. We got Pacer fans in the chat already. Let's look at this. All right. How about it?
Go.
Way
You
to
deserve
go.
it. You deserve
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Be
I'm
proud.
Tim Daniel. That's Sean Mackey. That's Parker Fields. And we thought it'd be fun to all have a beverage, talk a little NBA postseason, give some eulogies for some teams that got eliminated. Our teams all either did not make it or got eliminated. And we're going to talk about just some of this consensus going around the postseasons right now. And also have some drinks while we do it. So Josh Beckley says he's going to join as well. I like it. All right. If you're in the chat and you're hanging out for NBA Friday happy hour, tell us what you're having. We'll share it on the show. We're going to talk some shop. Guys, let's go and start right with what just happened. All right. So Pacers eliminate the Bucks in 6. I will say I absolutely love that they got to close that game at Gainbridge. I know they probably didn't want to play another game after. I mean, they probably wanted to end in Milwaukee the other day, like every team does. But Sydney's having a little Mick Ultra. All right. Did you sell it to yourself at the ballpark? Sydney's a beer vendor at GABP, for those who don't know.
What flavor of White Claw, Tim?
This is the tangerine. I've never had it.
We got Miller Lite. Josh said Miller Lite.
Josh got some Miller Lite. Okay.
I got some vodka mixed in with a little bit of, some juice and stuff.
Sure.
Mixed drink going.
Yeah.
Got the Derby coming up this weekend, so gotta prepare my liver. Got to prepare my liver for that. So.
Do you have a nice hat to wear, Parker?
I don't have a hat. I got a nice suit though. I just bought.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, you should probably think about putting a hat with that.
It's also not right that we're all drinking tonight and Nate's not here. Since he has the
Yeah.
most famous appearance on NBA Friday.
Yeah, Nate's here. So I'm drinking a Coke Zero, everyone. I've already had 3 old fashions. I'm good. I have one more. We're not going to be talking basketball anymore. We're going to be talking life. It's not going to be great.
This isn't Rosillo, all right? So
no.
Life advice with Rosillo.
Yeah. So, all right. So, yeah, the Pacers got to close at a Gainbridge tonight, and I love that they won. I absolutely love any time that Doc Rivers falls on his face, which I know sounds really mean of me to say.
Every time, you mean?
Yeah. I mean, literally, if he does not have that one title.
Yeah, since 2008, literally every time since 2008.
Yeah, I mean, that 2010 team should not even made the finals. That Celtics team, and they did. But dude, I think we're starting to see this trend, right? So let's look around the league and just all the teams who have advanced so far. So Pacers, Boston, Denver, OKC, youth and depth. That's the similarity between all these teams, right? We're seeing all these teams that are getting eliminated, and obviously, the Lakers, the Bucks tonight. New Orleans doesn't really fall into the veteranship, the age thing, but they're not deep either.
Yeah, no. I have a question. I still personally think the Bucks win in 6 if Giannis plays. Truthfully,
I do too, but I also think that they had every reason to still win that series. They were the 3 seed. They had home court advantage. And you can say,
he played 4 of the games. He played more than half.
Yeah, and they couldn't put it together. I mean, I think Rick Carlisle, look, he's the best coach in the world of being counted out, isn't he, at this point? Like, he's the guy that's like, if I'm the underdog, I want him coaching my team in a playoff series. And he did it again this year. Obviously, I mean, I don't think Halliburton was terrific in this series. I think he had moments where he definitely showed up big.
I just don't think he's the same player right now. Something's bothering him because it's not the same guy we saw the first 35 games of the season. It's not.
I agree.
It's not the same guy. He's like a 16-8 player now. Like, that's not the same player. Siakam's their best player right now.
Yeah, he was awesome tonight. He was super
awesome. Yeah, this series he was awesome.
Yeah, and I think Josh brings up a great point here. Like, Pacers whooped their ass all year. Like, it wasn't like this was like, I mean, the in-season tournament, they beat them. Obviously, the other regular season games, I think they were 4-1 in the regular season against them, and then they beat them at 6 here.
Yeah, the only time they won was that game. Giannis had like 60.
Yeah, he had a game where he had 50 and they lost.
Yeah.
It's just a lot, it's the hamstring, like everyone's saying in the chat. But I think that when you look at the series, what really impressed me the most about the Pacers was, and the difference between the two teams, besides the fact that the Pacers are much younger and more athletic, it's just that how many guys contributed to them winning games. So obviously, like you mentioned, Halliburton, not the dude during the series, but TJ McConnell, really good. Pascal Siakam, really good. Obi Toppin was awesome tonight, was freaking awesome. And I don't know if I love them to beat the Knicks or the Sixers in the next round. I would take a wild guess it's the Knicks, but I absolutely love that they won a round. I love they got to win in Indy, and I'm excited to see how they match up against the next team they play. The thing I love about the Pacers is this is obviously nowhere close to a finished product. This team's going to get better. This team's going to get more players. They're not like strapped for cash for the future. Halliburton's their most expensive player. Siakam's obviously going to get an extension. They wouldn't have made the trade they made with Toronto. I think this team's going to be the team's going to have a lot of upside. They're just always a good franchise too, man. It's like they're never down long.
No, they're never like at the bottom, really, ever. Like even their rebuild years, the last few years, they weren't awful. Like they were hovering around 6th to 8th pick, that range. Like not the worst team in the league or anything like that. I mean, it's a big win for Indiana basketball. Indiana basketball is obviously an awesome state when it comes to basketball. So good for their fan base. Awesome for them. It sucks though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of not having everybody at full health because I do think the Bucks were the only team that could have possibly posed a threat to the Celtics, honestly, in the East, like fully healthy. I just think it sucks not getting that opportunity to see that series. Just because Giannis is so damn good.
Yeah.
That's my only reasoning, because Giannis is that good.
We're at 2 years in a row now, though, that we're having this conversation.
First round exits. Yeah.
Giannis
is hurt, too.
Giannis is hurt.
Last year, though, he played still majority of the games. This year, he didn't even play.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like I agree that like Boston Bucks series, because I feel like the Bucks kind of elevate themselves when they try to play the Boston Celtics, and it's always just kind of a good matchup and everything. But this is great for Indiana. The Bucks are going to have to look at themselves and kind of figure out what the hell they're going to do. I mean, Chris Middleton's another year older. They got Bobby Portis.
It's always the yearly reminder. Chris Middleton's a top 30 player when he's healthy. Like he is good as hell, but he's going to be a year older. They still got Brook next year, which is great. Bobby Portis, so they have some players for next year. They're just getting old and stuff.
And they're $44 million in the hole.
Yeah.
And they're $44 million in the hole. I mean, they have a huge deal in place for Giannis and Middleton and everything and Bobby. So if you're locked into this team right now and you're getting a first round exit team with one of the best 5 players on planet Earth right now. I mean, where do you go?
I'd say top 2. I think Jokic is the only player better than Giannis.
Okay.
If Giannis is healthy.
I was being incredibly generous.
That dude's damn good.
I was trying to just broaden it up and say, well, maybe, but yeah, I agree with you, Target.
Yeah, I'm taking Giannis over Embiid or Tatum or any of those guys.
I mean, if Giannis has the same team that Jokic has, I'm taking Giannis all day.
Sure.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't particularly like the people that are surrounding him right now. I don't know if they've got a title under the belt. It's cool, but
that was a different team.
It was a different team.
I don't like the Dame fit alongside Giannis to begin with, because Dame is a scorer. Dame's an all-time scorer. Seriously, I think Giannis fits much better with the facilitating point guard. I mean, Drew Holiday obviously isn't like top tier passer, but he's not looking to isolate 20 times a game. Like he's looking to get the ball to Giannis. And I just don't think it was that great of a fit from the start. I mean, I get what they were thinking, obviously. But I just think that he's better suited. They were better suited keeping Drew Holiday, truthfully.
They were.
I
mean, if you look at the guys who are playing big minutes in this series for them, and it's not.
They also lost Grayson Allen, who would have been huge for them this year.
Oh, 1,000%. If you look at so AJ Green is playing big minutes for them in situations.
Not the wide receiver for the
No,
Bengals. either.
not the legendary Bengals wide receiver. But the guy who played at like UNI last year.
Yeah.
That AJ Green. Patrick Beverly, who I know is picked up on all these teams because he's supposed to help you with the like late season push. Waiting
But
for
none
him
of
to
his
do
teams
that.
Do anything?
Yeah, waiting for him to do that. I mean, so we'll see how that goes. But I think that we're at this point now with Milwaukee where it's like Sean says, like, where do you go? It's you got to get deeper. That's step one. You got to get younger. You got to get deeper. And I think that if you look at that situation, they're I would trade Dame. I would trade Dame. I would get as many pieces as I could get. But there's no way they do that.
I would call the Heat and see if Tyler Hero and Jovic and the first round picks.
Duncan
are still
Robinson
available.
for sure. Get my assets back like it's draft day with Kevin Costner, and just see if I can like build a team because I have no money.
Tyler Hero and Milwaukee.
Jovic.
Yeah, so good.
They have no money. There's no such thing as free agency anymore. There's no like. I mean, Paul George is like. I have a feeling Paul George is leaving the Clippers. We'll get to that in a second. But he's not going to Milwaukee.
Also, like LeBron, I would put a lot of money. He's just going to be on the Lakers next year.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, he's not
because there's no better option. Like the Lakers retool, something could happen. But that's the same with every other team. And you're in LA, like you might as well stay. Like, I agree with you because the contract extensions have kind of killed free agency at this point.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, if you look at if you look around the league at these different guys who are going to get traded in all these situations, it's like Donovan Mitchell. He's not making the Bucks better. I mean, he's not changing this situation. So it's like, okay, you can't, do I think he's played his last series in Cleveland whenever like they're eliminated this year? Yes.
And the crazy thing, Middleton has shown he can be a number 2 option on a championship team.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And like, I don't think he just needs to stay healthy. Like, because he's had fluky, weird injuries. It's been like his wrist, a bunch of weird things. It's not like it's been like a lot of lower body that much. And my thing is like his game is going to age gracefully, in my opinion. He didn't have much athleticism to begin with. So I don't think he's going to fall off a cliff anytime soon. So they'd be much better to go after star role players because that's shown that's the best way to win in the NBA nowadays. Like it's not big threes anymore.
I'm scared for more fluky injuries though at his age. I'm scared for that for him.
I
agree. He's been a great number 2. Like he has been absolutely, and like he knows his role. He does a great job, but like he's had some fluky shit happen over the last couple of years, and it's just kind of, I don't know. I don't like the way that the Bucks are constructed. Period. Like you guys said, Dame's got to go. I love the idea of maybe throwing him down to South Beach or something like that. And they're going to definitely answer the phone on a call like that. But I don't know, man. This is the whole league right now. I feel like is weirder than it's ever been in terms of talent, the way things are assembled. Like the Nuggets have a championship caliber team.
Don't bury the lead just yet. Don't bury the lead just
yet. Okay. I'm just saying. But like you look at a team like that and you're like, they have done everything right. And the way that we've assembled the Suns and the Bucks and the Miami Heat and everything, they're all missing parts.
Yeah, which
of like an actual championship contender.
That's why I was going to get to the Heat next, just to kind of stay on the Eastern Conference for the time being. And that's another team where it's like
I still think they might push the Celtics 7 if Butler plays. I'm dead serious.
If he plays, is he possibly going to play the next game?
No, it's over.
It's over. Oh yeah, it is over. Oh, that is over. Yeah. I don't know what I'm thinking. I was just thinking. I was like,
what does old fashioned do to you?
I know. I got up this morning and I read that and I was like, well, it's over. And then you're like, oh, it's still going on. And I'm like, yeah. It's still going on.
They lost by 34 last night.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It was the first thing I looked at on my phone this morning when I woke up. So
it's so funny with them. It's like, I mean, we all love the conversation of Heat culture. I think like their history, their franchise is incredible. And they're always good. They're always most of the time they're a championship contender. This team certainly was not. I don't even think last year's team was a championship contender. They made the finals. You know what I mean? Like it was just kind of one of those runs. But they're another team that they really have like a lot of questions to answer. You know, you have Butler, but you're about to sign him to a pretty
not
big
35. He's shockingly older. Like he's the same age as DeRozan. I feel like people don't realize Butler's that old.
right.
He
Exactly.
came in the league old.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he came in exactly because he was in like the 12 draft class, so that's why he's not as like or 11 draft class.
Yeah, he was in the Kyrie
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
And they've got Bam, which I think Bam's like your centerpiece at this point, just because Butler's so much, Butler's age is coming up.
Bam is damn good too.
And he's
Bam's
awesome.
good.
And like
Underrated.
I loved when they got Terry Rozier. I thought that was a great pickup for them in the regular season.
I did too.
They are a team that has also like a lot of questions. And look, they have the foundation that they can put something together. They have the coach, they have the front office, they have the player to build around, they have the veteran who's been there, done that. But man, their roster is mounted like this isn't like post Shaq championship Miami Heat bad, obviously, but it's not very good of a roster.
They just need for them to like get back to being a top 4 seed next year. And not this another thing where they're just like banking on Jimmy Butler going Super Saiyan in the playoffs, which is what they banked on the last 2 years, and they got hurt this year. The thing is, I think that they need Jaquez and Jovic to develop desperately, like, or else they're screwed. Like, truthfully,
I agree.
Right now.
and they look like they are going to be much better, like take another leap. Like they look
for
awesome,
sure.
but they need it. Like it's not like oh, that would be good if that happens. No, they need it because Jimmy Butler's getting older. Now, I will say the thing about Jimmy Butler, I don't think he's going to age as poorly as some of these people because
Agreed.
one, his game isn't that reliant on athleticism. 2, he's a freak of nature when it comes to he's like LeBron, how he takes care of his body and stuff. He's one of those Jimmy Butler takes good care of himself. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to fall off a cliff.
He drinks Michelob Ultra,
Yeah. But, I mean, that dude's jacked. Like, I think he'll take care of his body well and stay afloat. And, I mean, it doesn't seem like he's slowed down at all. So they just need a third. Dame would help them a lot. Dame would help them a lot.
Dame, Butler,
it's
Bam.
a perfect trade.
Yeah, Dame, Butler, Bam competes with the Celtics. For sure.
Yeah, and if they could keep Jaquez, that would be huge. If they could just get rid of Jovic, Hero, and then some first rounders for Dame, that'd be huge. And not have to give up Jaquez. Because Jaquez is damn good. That guy's good.
He's very good. Yeah, he's very good.
And you'd still have Rozier. Wait, or is he a free agent?
I think he's got one more year.
Okay, so you'd still have Rozier, which, I mean, just make him your 6th man.
Yeah. Jaime Jaquez should have been a Laker.
Yeah, but they took Hood Schifino.
God, Hood Schifino.
You want to get into that?
Not yet. I want to get into the Suns first.
Okay.
Because Sydney's saying Dame would be hurt. I think Dame would be awesome for Heat culture. I think that's like what he needs because playing in Portland all those years where it's like they had good teams and then here, and then going to Milwaukee where it's like, that was just a mess. And like, he basically said everything, but like, I hate it here in interviews he was doing. It was like, he was like, I don't have any friends. My family is not here. I was like, all right, man. I
think Dame's a dog too. Like, I think he wouldn't have any problems with that shit.
Yeah. I agree. All right, let's get to Phoenix because Sean talked about horribly constructed teams. I think this is the worst constructed team in basketball.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I look, there are crappy teams out there.
No, they're bad. They're hard to watch.
Yeah, they are brutal to watch. And we have once again, Dame to team up with Curry in his hometown. That would take a lot of salary gymnastics.
That would take also a lot of ego to the side.
Yeah.
For Dame, especially, because that's the guy who's been compared to his whole career. You think he wants to go play with him? I don't know. Also, I just think
small guards.
I just think it's an upgraded version of Chris Paul and Curry. Like
I was gonna say,
I don't think it moves the needle for the Warriors.
2 small guards, like that's yeah. All right. So Sydney says this here, and this is where I want to dive into. She says Beal sucks so much. I wouldn't say Beal sucks, but I would say that he was atrocious in that last series. And he made fun of himself for being atrocious, which, hey, I appreciate.
I respect that. I respect that.
But
I will say this. I think the problem, too, was they had him guarding Anthony Edwards the entire time, and I think he was gassed. I think he was gassed. He was playing his ass
Oh.
off on defense. Like, I don't think people are talking about that enough. Like, he was getting cooked, but he was trying.
Yeah.
And it was just a bad matchup for him. KD or somebody should have went and said, you know what, I'll try. Like, he was just dominating Beal, and Beal's gassed. All his shots were short.
So,
well, Beal's older at this point. Like, he's going up against a absolutely like crazy guy right now who's just going to be like the face of the league. So I don't blame him. But when I think about defense and I think about like smaller shooting guards and things like that, like Beal does not come like top of my list.
really?
He tried, though.
No.
Beal?
No.
Bradley Beal?
No.
Bradley Beal's a lockdown defender.
Yeah, dude. What are you talking about? Like, have you seen his defensive box plus minus? It's never in the positive.
That's why it made no sense that was his matchup.
Dude.
Also, shocked that Isaiah Thomas didn't get a shot in this series. I'm dead.
Yeah, what do you
serious.
have to lose?
What do you have to lose? Like, seriously. Like, because they have no point guard. Like, he could have at least initiated the offense and passed the ball to them.
Yeah. Sydney brings it up here. This is going to be my point. Like, Beal's going to make $60 million next year. He has a no trade clause.
And isn't his contract still like multiple years?
Yeah, it's not like it ends in
I'm
a year.
pretty sure his extension was just last offseason, like his going into his last year on the Wizards.
They're going to have to trade Durant. And Durant's going to want to leave because that's what he does.
I don't think Durant has that.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
They're not going to do this, and they shouldn't do it. But the only way to resurrect the franchise is to trade Devin Booker because you could get a shit ton of stuff for Devin Booker.
For sure.
Yep. I agree with you.
You could get 4 first-round picks, 3 legitimately, because Devin Booker is a top 10 player in the NBA. And he's also 27 years old, and I think he's just now hitting his prime. Like, dude's going to be a 30,000-point scorer in his career. Like, seriously, Devin Booker is good.
Oh, I love Devin Booker.
He just finished the 2nd year of the contract. There's still 3 years and a player option.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big Money here in the chat is all about trading people to the Warriors. I have a feeling what his fandom is from this conversation.
I would have to guess.
When we talk about the Lakers, he's going to be like, trade LeBron to the Warriors. But
hey, man, you know what? They were good for so long, and
dude, unbelievable dynasty.
Unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, they're another team that's going to have, there's so many teams that are going to have to just look at themselves in the mirror this offseason and be like, what the hell have we created here?
That's the second worst constructed roster in the NBA.
All of these teams have painted themselves into corners, and they're like, you know.
You can't win that way anymore. I mean, look at right now. You know what I mean? Like, I know the Sixers are getting smoked right now by the Knicks. They're down 19. They've scored 9 points so far in the game.
It's over.
Yeah, but like, I still feel fine about what that team's been able to do for the future after Harden, because they probably knew once Embiid got hurt, like, look, this wasn't our year. It sucks. It is what it is. But they have options next year. And, you know, one very unique, interesting one is linked to them, which is still playing at the moment. But which Big Money probably also wants him to go to the Warriors. Actually, Paul George of the Warriors would be sick. I'm not even going to lie. That's not a conversation we're having right now. When you look at Phoenix, it's, you know, like Grayson Allen was your 3rd best player in a playoff series. Like, yowza. And it's another team that tried to be smarter than they were, in the sense of they probably should have never broken up the 2021 team. Like, I know they lost the Bucks in the finals.
No, I agree with you. It was so stupid. They panicked.
Yeah.
They lost in the 2nd round and got upset because they played horrible.
Yeah, they won 64 games that year.
And they panicked and traded for Kevin Durant. It was dumb. That team easily could have gone back to the Western Conference Finals last year. Like, it was dumb, in my opinion.
I agree. And like, also, I mean, I probably would have let DeAndre Ayton sign with the Pacers, or probably would not have matched that, to be honest with you. But then I have that $60 million to go get a center.
Yeah.
And, you know, I thought that was probably the last of the great Chris Paul run, I'm sure. But still, like, I think that team, dude, they won 66 games. Like, they won 64 games. They were unbelievable. Like, you run it back no matter what happens. You fired Monty, you blew up your bench, and I understand the intuition to want to trade for Kevin Durant, but it's not a good idea anymore. It's just
No,
not. And so, like,
no.
when he, like, this offseason, when
I
he's like,
understand how damn good he is. He's so good.
1000%. But, like, yeah, Sydney, Nurkic not looking good. No kidding. He had like a 30 rebound game. That's the only thing anyone remembers this year.
He can rebound. That's it.
He can rebound. Yeah. But like when he, look, we all know it. It's coming. It's probably going to be like during the Olympics. We're going to hear about Kevin Durant's talking to XYZ player about playing a teaming up, or Kevin Durant's thinking about this. Like, do not trade for him.
He's talking to the Lakers.
Right.
you go,
Unless you're the
not trade
Lakers.
for him.
If the Lakers somehow pulled that
Yeah.
off, I'd be all for it. That'd be
Yeah.
a scary front court of those three.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, D'Lo and Booker, they're really good friends. They've talked about wanting to play together in the past, you know.
I think they have beef now, actually. I don't think they're friends anymore. I think their little trio with Kat like split up. Something about D'Lo was hooking up with a Kardashian, and yeah. that's where it ended. I'm pretty sure that's accurate.
Sounds like this is the wrong podcast for that conversation.
Hey, I'm just saying that's what happened.
KD for Dame. I don't know if KD and Giannis would be very fun together anymore.
Or,
both guys are going to get hurt in March.
Or if I'm the Suns, I'm shutting down that conversation so fast. Let's add another under 6'5" goer to the roster with Beal and Booker still, because Beal's not going anywhere. He's a Sun for life.
You don't have a choice.
No.
And there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be trades that happen, and also this is a draft where it's like, Zachary Rasacher is a guy that's like often being listed as number 1 overall right now, and like
sucks.
This draft's awful. It's so brutal.
Looking for the best 3-and-D wing.
Do we want to get the Pelicans or do we want to get the Lakers? Because I think the Pelicans is a short, quick conversation of
Zion wasn't healthy.
Zion wasn't healthy, and you got to figure out what you're going to do with Brandon Ingram because he was terrible.
Terrible. And the thing is, I was looking at this. His first playoff series, he averaged 29 points a game 2 years ago against the Suns. When they took him 6, and it was like shocking that it went 6 games. Remember that? And like it was a really competitive series. He averaged 29 that series without Zion. I don't know what the hell happened. When he came back from his injury this year, he was out for like a month. He just wasn't the same player after that. He wasn't.
He was so bad in the play-in.
Yeah, I really don't know what happened with Ingram. He was awesome. He was awesome in the second play-in game, the one they won versus the Kings. He was awesome. But I don't know it. I love Ingram's game too. I feel like he should just be so much better than he is. Like Ingram's game is so. I love his game. He's a great he's a really good passer. Like he should be a lot better than he is, and
Totally
I don't
agree.
know what it is.
Totally agree. So,
and somebody will pay for Ingram still. He's still young as hell. I think he's 25. He's still super young.
I absolutely hate being a Bulls fan, but if the Bulls were offered Brandon Ingram, I would do it. Would 1,000% support it.
You got Levine for Ingram, I would take that in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat. I'm doing that.
You get 3 or 4 years younger, just as good a player, in my opinion.
For sure.
More upside.
Yeah, and you get a lot of money off the books.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a fun question. From our pal Big Money. I like Big Money. Big Money, hang out with us more often. I like having you in the chat. All right, he says, if Clippers lose, who's the first to go on that team? Harden, PG, or Kawhi? Well, it sounds like there's like a lot of expectation.
Locked in.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of expectation that Paul George will not be a Clipper next year.
Yeah, they're paying James Harden 100% because they have a new arena. They're not going to want to suck. So they're paying James Harden. And then Paul George might just want to be gone.
Yeah.
Like he might
I don't blame him if he does.
He probably wants to go win a ring. Seriously. He still hasn't won a ring or anything. And he probably wants to go win a ring and go be on a competitor.
Yeah. Hunter, good friend Hunter. Hunter's a Wolves fan, so I know he's like just living his best life right now. Is BI 6'8" D'Lo? Come on. D'Lo was really good for 3 months until the playoffs.
Also, D'Lo played well 3 of the 5 games. It was improvement.
He did.
It was 2 bad games.
Game 1, he was terrible. Yeah.
Game 1, he was terrible. Yeah. Game 3, he was terrible. 2, 4, and 5, he was good. So, I mean, it was.
Parker's got the receipts.
I still want the Lakers to bring D'Lo back. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. New Orleans, I think you've got options. I think you can trade McCollum, try to get better there. I don't think they're a team that has to win right away. I think they're a team that can build for a while. And obviously, like you said, like Zion was incredible in that Laker game and got hurt. And who knows what the conversation's like if he doesn't. But I just hate that that's the conversation we're gonna have about him forever. Is when he's on the floor, he's incredible. But I hate that that's the conversation about his story because he's the only guy from that lottery of the 2019 draft now that has not played in a playoff series.
And his team has made the playoffs twice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the craziest
Yeah.
part. In his what is this 5 years now? I think they've been in the play-in 4 out of his 5 years.
Yeah. Because they were they made the play in for him so he would be in the bubble
Yeah.
to make the playoffs because that was when they're like, oh man, New Orleans is close. Okay, let's get them in the bubble so we can get them in the playoffs. I have this great idea.
And the crazy part is this guy is at a historic pace when he actually plays
Oh my god,
basketball.
he's unbelievable. He's
like,
unbelievable.
Like if he actually played a lot, like the stats he's putting up are absurd. They're better than Booker started out his career, Tatum, and those are guys that are on pace to score 30,000 points in the NBA. Like seriously, like Tatum and Booker are on pace to score 30,000 points, and it's like it's just shocking. It sucks because he's damn good.
Agreed. All right, I've been trying to hold off on it.
Nah, I got a vent on this.
Let's talk about the Lakers.
Boo.
Here's the thing.
Ooh.
All right. And Parker, I don't know where you're going to go with this, but
All right.
I know what I'm going to say is I don't hate this roster. As a matter of fact, I think they're a good basketball team.
I do too.
I think that there were some things that did not go their way, certainly. I mean, I think that if they had played the Thunder, they would have beat them. I think that if they had been the 3-6 matchup, they would have won that.
Mhm.
I agree. I think they would have beaten anybody else in the first round.
I do too.
Serious.
I do too. And if you saw how they played in that series, it furthers our point. Look, I mean, they played a well-oiled machine who didn't panic when they were down 18, 20 points. And they just played ball. And you saw the results. There are things that they obviously have issues with. And obviously, the Darvin Ham, Taurean Prince love affair was something that really hurt them.
Yeah.
Really hurt them.
Hate it.
The fact they relied so much on Cam Reddish, who had moments. I'm not going to say he was bad, but is a guy that's like, and obviously, a lot of people are going to point out they didn't have Vando and Gabe
I was
Vincent
about to say they missed Vando, like actually
For sure.
because the amount of just 50-50 balls that LeBron's gassed on and he doesn't get because Aaron Gordon, Vando's ass would have taken Aaron Gordon, and if he wasn't getting it, Aaron Gordon's getting taken out. Like seriously, that guy tries harder than any player in the NBA. Seriously, like Vando plays his ass off, and I think he legitimately would have. I'm not saying they would have won, but I think they would have at least went 6 if he was playing.
Yeah, and so I think that with this team, it's a lot of like, I mean, look, Rui was not good in the series. And
he was so good.
No.
He was so good. The last 3 months, he was averaging like 18 points a
but,
game.
but not in the series. But not in the series.
Right.
So bad.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because last year against Denver, he was really good in the Western Conference Finals.
He was.
And it was D'Lo who sucked.
Yeah. It's like they kind of flipped for. But I think that for this team, obvious number one is you move on from Darvin Ham. And this isn't like the typical like LeBron thing where we're talking about like he doesn't have a good coach.
Nah.
This is literally like the rotations were terrible. The decision making was stupid 90% of the time.
You see what I'm doing right now? The hands in his pockets. That's all he does.
Yeah. And it's like his like inability to know when and when to not call a timeout. And I know it's NBA basketball and a lot of people don't think coaching matters, but here it totally does.
Yeah.
Rotations and timeouts, it matters.
1,000%. 1,000%.
The other night, it drove me insane. The Lakers should have won that game 5, 100%.
100%.
And in all seriousness, I know people coaching any coach. That series goes at least 7 with Ty Lue. I'm sorry, that series goes 7. At minimum, they lose in 7 because first of all, the Nuggets. It was 79-70. The Nuggets go on a 9-0 run. You're thinking after a 6-0 run, you still have 4 timeouts left in the game late in the third quarter.
Yeah.
You're thinking after a 6-0 run, timeout immediately. They go on a 9-0 run. He still doesn't call a timeout. Then they take a 3-point lead the next possession, and it's a 12-0 run. Then he calls a timeout.
It's too
The
late.
whole point of timeouts is to kill momentum. Like that's
Yep.
the point of that. And regroup because LeBron's gassed. He made 2 lazy passes in a row. And like it just I don't know.
Dude.
I will say the one thing that good that came out of the series is Anthony Davis reminded people he's a top 5 player in the NBA.
1,000. I was just about to make that
He's
point.
a top 5 player in the NBA. I don't care what you say. He is right up there because he played step for step with Jokic this series. They canceled each other out. Besides the last quarter and a half when he was playing with one arm and he wasn't aggressive, obviously, because his arm's dangling. He was amazing this series.
Dude.
And he reminded people that's why I was one of the most hyped up prospects ever. Seriously.
I agree with you, dude. I totally agree with you.
I
So-
love the idea Sydney just said, by the way. I want that so bad.
Okay.
The podcast would be hilarious.
I was gonna bring it up. So the conversations have obviously come up because it sounds like the reports are okay. By the way, I was gonna say I found it really funny that most of the time when a team gets eliminated from the playoffs, they go home, they get on the charter, they go home, they pack up the next day, they do their exit interviews.
They did
Lakers-
them there.
They did them in Denver.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign if you're the head coach. Like,
No.
that's not a good sign. at
He's
all.
gone tomorrow, I would assume.
Yeah, it's
So and I mean it's already out. It's like Darvin Ham will be fired this week. It's like just fire him. Just fire him.
Yeah, why
He
haven't
knows
they
he's
done it
gone.
yet?
You know he's gone. Why is he gonna have to wait like 5 days and like, yeah, no, I'm getting
I-
canned.
I want to say this real quick. Please do not do what you did in 2020/2021 that season. Do not panic. Do not panic. This team needs to make a couple retooling adjustments here and there, and they can compete in the West and win the West. Please don't panic. Like, seriously, please don't panic and trade for Trae Young. No.
No, I'm with you. 1,000% with
D'Lo
you.
for 20, if you can get D'Lo again for 22 mil a year or something, that is a damn good deal. And he's 85% of what Trae Young is. Seriously. Like if you get that D'Lo, and also Gabe Vincent, I don't know what the hell happened to him. Obviously he was hurt all year, but he was so good on the Heat. Like, what the hell was
Yeah,
that?
I know.
Heat dust, man. Heat dust.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Whatever Pat
The
Riley
real
puts in
thing.
his hair, whatever grease he puts in his hair, it rubs off on his players. And
Something happens. I agree. Because Gabe
Yeah.
Vincent for $12 million a year or whatever, that mid-level exception was a steal. That was considered the best signing of the offseason with the mid-level.
Yeah.
And he only played, I think, 11 regular season games. I mean, we got to see it next year. I think he still has another year left on his deal, so we got to see it next year. But he was damn good on the Heat, so I'm
yeah,
curious.
he was. How's everybody? Hunter and Big Money. This is happy hour. What are you drinking? That's the big question. Here's what I will say. Will this happen? No. But the only way I'm content if they just like make this big change to their roster is Paul George.
I agree.
Only way.
I'm content with that.
It's not
Yes.
happening,
No.
but
We'll
Who
be
do-
the
who do you
best
move-
third
who do you
option in the
move for-
league.
Who do you move for Paul George though?
yeah, that's
First.
you're-
Well, you'd have to do a sign and trade, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So you're
Sean,
first.
You're
that
like
you
the
have-
master of the 2K like franchise.
Yeah, what the
financial-
I am.
Like
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know
It's the
what these
old-fashions.
contracts look like. I don't know what these contracts look like at this point. Like I
He's a
haven't
free
really been
agent.
paying attention.
yeah,
to
Paul George is actually a free
So
agent.
well, okay. So Paul George is a free agent, so it would have to be a sign and trade. So he would have to sign with LA to be traded to LA.
Yeah. You
Which
go.
is why Bomber won't do that. There's no way.
Yeah,
Bomber.
no, he won't.
No.
I don't think he'll do
No.
it. But hypothetical here, we'll go our ESPN first take hypothetical trade here. All right, I'm Tim Legler. All right, so give me, I guess, Hood Shapino.
Oh boy, done.
You're
Go-
two. How
I'm
many
cutting you off
firsts?
there.
How many firsts do they have before 2030? Like 3, 2?
Um,
Both of these teams are. The Lakers are in a much better spot because they have LeBron and Anthony Davis. That's it. Also, Sean, old fashions are terrible. You're a trooper for that.
what?
I'm not a
You're
What are you
young.
talking about?
You're young.
I
God,
drink,
no.
yeah, I'm a light liquor fan, definitely.
Grow up, Parker.
So New
me a
Orleans has
vodka
the
Red Bull.
option either this year or next year. New Orleans has to either take this year's pick or take next year's first rounder. Which my
Yeah.
assumption is they'll take next year's because obviously, like we've talked about a million times, this draft compared to next year's draft is totally different.
And also, there's a chance that LeBron just doesn't sign. There's still that rare chance. So
Yeah, and it's like that thing too is like, and that's come up a lot. But like, where is that? Like, where does he play if it's not LA? And like, we all agree that's the best place for him. But
His
not-
family's locked in there, though.
yeah, he's not going
to
to Philly. Like, he's not going to go play with
No,
Embiid and
no.
Maxey. Like, he's not going to go to New
There's-
York and play with Brunson and like Mitchell
Dallas.
Robinson.
Dallas is the one. No, because
I don't think he can play with
LeBron
Luka.
does not want to play his. Okay, this has been my favorite player since I was born. His ego is too big. He does not want to be on somebody else's team.
Right.
If you've ever noticed, yes, he went to Miami. Like, that was rare. But, like, when he went to the Lakers had nobody. Like, he wants to be the leader. Like, even though I think he's content now with Anthony Davis becoming the number one option.
Yeah.
But I think he wants to be the guy. Also, Anthony Davis said this in his post-game presser. Like, they're going to be together all summer. There's no way Anthony Davis is, like, letting him leave, to be honest with you. Because they're also, I think Anthony Davis is his closest friend he's ever played with outside of D. Wade. Like, I think they're much closer than him and Kyrie. Like, they actually do stuff outside of basketball. You know what I'm saying? So I think he looks at Anthony Davis as, like, his little brother.
For what it's worth, I know Kyrie's been really happy in Dallas. I'm not counting out the possibility he's playing for the Lakers again.
If they lose. Clippers, come on.
All right, so this comes up a lot, and for obvious reasons. Sydney brings up Cleveland. And, like, romantically, yes, love it. But the realistic thing about it that would make it difficult, and it's not the Mobley thing, because I think he'd play really well with Mobley. You look at what Anthony Davis does with him. Mobley's like on a lesser extent of that defensively. Has a ways to go offensively, obviously, but I think
offensively it's a ways to go.
But he was really good post-injury. Like he was really good post-injury. I just don't know how you could play like a Garland, LeBron, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Isaac Okoro lineup. Like, I don't think that's like really attractive to him with how he likes to play. And if you're in that situation where it's like, okay, like we'll trade Jared Allen and this guy, like, I don't think the Lakers are like, man, we got to have Jared Allen. And it's not, I don't dislike Jared Allen at all. I love Jared Allen. But like,
he's a piece.
Right. Why would you pair Anthony Davis with Jared Allen?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
You wouldn't.
Because Anthony Davis has become a center at this point. He is
a
dominant.
Yep.
He's arguably like the strongest big in the league now. It's so weird because like coming in, he was that lanky former guard, but he's strong as hell now. Like Anthony Davis he's a big body now.
And I don't think the Lakers are like looking at like, you know, man, like a Isaac Okoro, Max Strus deal for him would be great. Like, I don't think like they don't think that way. You know, I mean, like they gave Kobe way more money than they should have, way too late in his career.
I gotta defend my guy AD. Pull up Big Money's comment real quick.
Ooh.
You see what he said? There's not 10 players in the league better than Anthony Davis.
Trust? Health-wise, I agree with you.
Yeah. He's got to like, do it for more years. But like when
play better? That's tough.
When Anthony Davis is like, when he's healthy, I can't name 5 players better than him. I'd go Giannis.
By the way, he missed 6 games this year. That's all.
Yeah, I will. Yes. I'd go Giannis. I'd go Jokic. I'd go Embiid still when he plays, but Embiid's more of a flight risk damn near than Anthony Davis, and nobody talks about it, but Embiid.
I sure will.
Yeah, say we do.
and then Luka. And then I think Anthony Davis legitimately is comparable to Tatum, to Brunson, to LeBron, like all those guys that are borderline top 5. Like I'd take him over Steph at this point. Like seriously. I think he's 5 to 7 to 8 range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'd put him. Like he's in there with Tatum and Shea and those guys.
City says I'm allowed to have my dream. That's pretty funny.
If he came to Cleveland, I'd be happy.
I would be happy too.
Would be happy.
I for sure would be happy. I could drive up to see more games. You know, my wife's family lives up there, so I'd have a place to stay and just go. I'd probably get a package. I could take a package and go up for like 15 games.
Well, then we better split the ticket package. Oh,
1,000%. You think I
if
on my own?
Cleveland, I'm going to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some of the series still going on. So obviously right now the Knicks are up 12.
I wanted to mention real quick. Who do you think, just real quick, who's going to be the coach?
I don't think it's gonna be JJ Redick.
I
It
don't
would be
either.
awesome.
No.
But and I listened to Rajon Rondo today on a podcast. He said he's not ready to coach yet because he wants to enjoy his like kids being teenagers, and then
Yeah.
he'll look at it. And also, he's actually back in Kentucky getting his degree.
He
So,
is, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I think it's gonna be Ty Lue if they lose.
Dude, the perfect coach for that team. The absolute perfect coach for that team. And I'm not just saying that because him and LeBron won a title together.
Not just that, also him and LeBron, that's like one of LeBron's best friends, like in the world. They hang out. It's so weird, but like
Yeah.
Ty Lue was at this guy's birthday party. There's like pictures of it, like
Yeah.
them hanging out. Like
And-
they're like legitimately really good friends. He's good friends with AD through LeBron. Like it would,
And
and
one
he
of the
knows
like
how to manage stars.
one of the 3 coaches that he actually listened to.
Probably
Yeah.
his favorite coach of all time. Him and Mike Brown. He loved
Yeah.
Mike Brown too.
And Spo, obviously, after the first year. He tried to get Spo
After
fired
he
one
hated
summer.
Spo
Yeah.
the first year, yeah.
Yeah, he tried to get Spo fired. No one talks about that. But all right, everyone's saying Doc Rivers. We're not accepting that conversation here.
No,
All right.
if they hired Doc Rivers, look, I'm joining a new fandom.
Yeah. LeBron would literally like do what he did to who was the one coach? David Blatt, where he would take the clipboard out of his hands, draw the plays up, and hand it back to him.
How
Like
did Darvin Ham get hired?
so he was
I
he
don't
was the
even
top
remember.
he was the
LeBron
top
happy with it when it happened?
Yeah. Because everyone went to bat for him because he was the top assist on that Bucks championship team.
He seems
Yeah.
like a good guy though. Like I think like
Sure.
I think like LeBron likes him on a personal level. It's just basketball wise, he just doesn't seem like I don't even know what it is.
According to NBA 2K, he is the starting small forward of the 2004 Detroit Pistons.
He was not though, was he? He was on the bench.
Because Tayshaun Prince will not put his likeness in the game.
Oh yeah, I was about to say he was on the
Secret-
bench, correct?
Secretly, he joined this team just so they would lose, so he could get back at Kobe for beating him at that slam dunk contest back in '97.
You mean
'Cause
taking the
He
title?
was,
Kobe's
was
worst
robbed.
finals?
he was
Yeah.
he was robbed. Like Darvin Ham put on
John.
a show that night.
Don't dog Kobe. We know what happens when you dog Kobe. When you
I'm just
say
gonna
when you
say
say
it.
someone did something better than Kobe Bryant, then everyone hates you.
I'm not saying everyone, but go back and watch it, guys.
I
Put
agree.
on a hell of a show.
Tim,
Right,
can I share my
AI.
screen real quick?
Yeah.
I'm sharing it with you. It's not all far off. That's legitimately what he does. He just sits there and goes,
It's like the Kevin James meme, the King of Queens meme. The-
yeah, yeah. He does nothing though. It literally seems like he does nothing.
Yeah. I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. All right. Do we want to talk Knicks and Sixers since they're playing right now, or do we want to do the other 2 series that are still going on?
We can talk Knicks Sixers.
Yep.
Like I predicted though, the Sixers have come back in this game. Sean
They
called
have.
it over. They're back. They got Joel Embiid, baby. Also, can we talk about how funny and just awesome this series is because of just I love Joel Embiid, not the basketball player. I love him as the troll, the just instigate. Like I love Joel Embiid for that because like
All
he's
these.
been dirty this series, which is not
Here's-
good.
Here's
But at
why.
the same time, it's so entertaining because Joel Embiid gives no Fs. None.
None.
And he goes right at the Knicks. Like, I love it. I love it.
So
And
I love
Maxey
that.
is so damn good. He's so good.
I love that they're like all doing this thing now where they're like, we hate Embiid. He's such a dirty player. But like all those years, the Sixers were getting knocked out in the first or second round. What were Knicks fans saying? Like, man, we should go get Joel Embiid.
Replace Randall with Embiid. We're winning the title.
Yeah, there was like every conversation you had with Knicks fans was like, just wait till we get Embiid.
This
And, like,
series has to go 7.
There was no secret that like Worldwide West was like watching to see what was going on with Joel Embiid in Philadelphia. It's not like
Yeah.
that was a conversation that was having a lot.
No, yeah.
Couple things from this is like obviously, you know, I love Jalen Brunson. I'm always gonna root for my Big East kids at the next level. So I'm happy to see him do well. Deuce McBride doing his thing, like playing big minutes,
5-1-3
big
kid right there.
defense. Yeah, man. Shout out Cincinnati. Playing great defense in this series. I think like, and then you know, hitting some big shots when he's getting like he's not taking a ton of shots by any means, but like when he is shooting, they're looking good. I
The
think
Knicks
that
are so cool too.
they're
I'm
so cool.
conflicted this series because like I like Joel Embiid a lot as a player.
Me
Like,
too.
I want him to get over the hump. And I think they pose more of a threat to the Celtics than the Knicks. I do. Even
I
though the
do.
Knicks are the much better team, they are. But Joel Embiid is Joel Embiid. He's a top 3 player in the NBA for he's that damn good when he's on the floor. And I
think I have to knock him down a couple notches. He has a
Really?
Skechers contract now.
Oh, he does. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
But,
you can't be doing that.
It's just I want the Knicks to win because Josh Hart all of a sudden is what Draymond Green wishes to be.
Yeah.
Josh Hart's so good.
Yeah, we're all frozen for some reason, but it sounds like we're at
Are
least
we
talking.
all frozen?
Yeah,
I see it for you guys.
you were for a second, but you're back. I'm not back yet. You just see me
you're
making
frozen. Sean's back.
This is gonna be the thumbnail for me. This picture right here this
I
week.
can't. This is hard to
You're
watch
like a
right now.
ventriloquist.
Yeah, for sure.
Clearly.
Yeah, they're bouncing back. So I think this series goes 7. I think the Sixers win tonight. Now tomorrow when you guys are listening to this, if you didn't hang out live, God only knows what this is gonna like.
It's a 5-point game now. Yeah, this series
Yeah.
going 7. This is going 7.
Let's talk about Cleveland, Orlando, because I think it's actually been a pretty entertaining series, even though the games haven't necessarily been awesome. I thought the Mobley block the other night on Wagner was great, but the games are the typical point of just because the score is close doesn't mean it's a good game kind of thing.
Yeah.
I like both these teams. Obviously, we've talked about them quite a bit this year,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of coming down to this point where it's it's the NBA TV series, but I'm having fun with it. I really have enjoyed every game.
I was about to call it the League Pass series.
Well, then we'd be blacked out.
Yeah, it's an entertaining series, but it's all these games have been blowouts besides game 5. They've all been blowouts.
Yeah.
Well, we got a young team in there, guys.
And it's all the home team too.
Haven't been to the playoffs in a while.
Yeah.
I forgot Sean's a converted Magic fan this year. I forgot.
That's true.
Right. That's right.
Hey man, Banchero has been really good this series.
He has
been very good.
Yeah. I think that's a team where it's I love them and I cannot wait to see what they grow into. I think that the team that has home court advantage is still Cleveland. I think they're going to end up winning the series. I just think that the way the series has gone.
If it goes 6 or 7, I think the Cavs win.
Yeah, well, it's 6 tomorrow.
Yeah.
I just can't wait till they get Zach LaVine next year.
Yeah, Orlando and Zach LaVine sounds like it's a match made in death.
Hell no. The Bulls are gunning for that 6th seed this year to get out of the play-in. They're gunning for it.
Yeah.
Hey, Parker, shut up.
Lonzo's back. Lonzo's back. Lonzo's back this year.
He's not back. He's never coming back. It's never happening.
I think this reset my
sad. So sad.
Yeah, Tim, disconnect your camera. I was about to say that and then reconnect it.
There we go.
There we
All
go.
Right.
There you are. You're moving
Tim,
like a
it's
real
not
person.
frozen.
Yeah. All right. So we have those. All right. Here we go. This is the fun one. Mavericks, Clippers. Dude. All right. So as we all know, I hate the Clippers. I will never root for the Clippers.
You
Wait,
hate
you?
the Clippers?
Hate them.
No.
Hate them.
No.
Stupidest franchise that every year people are like, watch out for the Clippers this year. And what have they done? What have they done?
Ever.
They in the bubble, they should have been playing the Lakers in the West Conference Finals. They couldn't close out the freaking Nuggets. And that was before the Nuggets were what we know them as now. The year that they go to the Western Conference Finals and lose to the Suns, I understand people are going to be like, well, Kawhi was hurt. Kawhi's always hurt. He's always hurt. That's not a thing anymore. Okay. We can't hold that against him anymore. We can't hold that against him anymore because it's the same thing.
Even when he's healthy, sometimes he doesn't play, guys.
Yeah.
And even when James Harden gets older, it's still the same James Harden. He's gonna still have that game where you're like, is this guy how good is James Harden still? And then he dropped 7 last night. And Paul George playoff P does the same. You have the 2 most inconsistent playoff players of the last decade on the same team right now.
Big Money says the Lakers are closer to Cowboys fans than Clippers. I disagree. The Lakers
No.
have been relevant in the last 20
Kentucky
years.
basketball is the Cowboys when Cal was there. Now it's Arkansas.
The Lakers have been relevant in at least the last 20 years. Like, they've won 3 titles in the last 20 years, which isn't a lot, but more than a lot of other teams can say.
That's more than probably every team but what? 3? Spurs and Warriors, maybe 2.
Heat.
Spurs and Warriors. Heat have won 3 though too. They're tied, so 2
Oh, yeah,
teams have won more.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, so when you like closer to the Clippers, I think the Clippers are more the Pirates. I think they're like, hey, we've had these really cool moments, but we don't do anything with them.
They had the one playoff P run where he was so good.
So
So good. Like that was my most outside of LeBron, because I'm a LeBron fan. That was the most fun I've ever had watching one player in the playoffs. He was so good carrying that team by himself.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Kyrie Irving, drinks are flowing at this point, guys. Kyrie
Yeah.
Irving has been so fun in this playoffs. And like, even when he's having bad games, he still has these insane moments. He is the best under the rim finisher to ever play NBA basketball.
He is. It's so weird. Leaving him off the top 75 at the time, I thought was fair. It's criminal.
I still
In
don't have
terms
an
of
issue with that.
actually, in terms of actually how good he is at basketball, he's a top 5 basketball player to ever walk. In terms of talent, like not what he's done, not what he's done. I'm talking about talent. You're telling me there's 5 players more skilled than Kyrie Irving ever?
When
No.
I'm sober, maybe, but
No, there's not. There's really not. In terms of like skill, I'm not talking about what he's done in his career. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about pure skill. Like other players are in awe of Kyrie Irving's skill.
oh, I'm not disagreeing with that.
I'm talking about his skill. I'm not talking about what the hell he's done. He's borderline top 75 in terms of what he's actually accomplished. Talk about how good he is at basketball.
the thing
he's
that
so
discredits
good.
him is forever that he's done nothing without LeBron James.
No,
That's-
and he
yeah.
never, and they would probably be considered the greatest duo of all time outside of Scotty and Jordan if they didn't quit playing together. In my opinion, he would be so much better. I'm
Man.
giving the hot takes. The goose is
That-
flowing.
That
Greg,
goose
you
is
are.
flowing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I started feeling the goose a little bit the last couple sips. Like it's started flowing.
I love this. I
So
absolutely
hot
love this.
takes. Give me a little goose. The hot takes will flow.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Two in, and you're just like, you could have been like Jordan and
Oh.
Pippen.
There was about a third of a bottle left. I poured it up in the cup with some mixer. I'm feeling good.
I still feel like even though we've been having libations, we're still pretty professional today. So,
Sure.
yeah,
We're not going on a Phoenix Suns rant.
we already did that. Yeah, we already talked about those bums. Dude, I don't see how the Clippers win this series. I don't think so.
either.
I mean, especially after they made fun of the Mavericks, and the Mavericks go out there and beat them by 30. It's like, ah, man.
I'm not gonna be shocked though if the Clippers randomly pull a rabbit out of their hat and win Game 6.
I suspect that they will.
I kind of think they will, and then they'll lose at home. That's
Yeah.
what I kind of think is gonna happen.
I just think that Kyrie and
'Cause
Luka
Harden
in Game 7 are going to take over.
And Harden played terrible last game, so he's due for a 35-point vintage James Harden game.
I thought it was so funny that Kyrie was literally yelling at the referee, calling him like being like, dude, he's like literally like doing head gestures just to draw fouls. He's flopping. His former teammate, who was supposed to be part of this super team, is like, you guys see the same thing I am? Like, come on now. Like,
I want to pose this question real quick because I'm gonna go out on a limb. They're not gonna win the title, the Clippers. Crazy limb here.
Yeah.
Now, if they did advance past this round, I think they beat the Thunder. If Kawhi plays, I think they beat the Thunder. I think either of these teams beat the Thunder, truthfully. And that's the Thunder are really good, but I do think either team beats the Thunder. Is James Harden the greatest player of all time with no rings?
at this point, yeah.
Because statistically, it's not even close. Like James Harden. We've talked about this before, Tim. People are going to look back at his stats in 30 years and be like,
Oh,
this
for
guy
sure.
scored 35,000 points. Like, he's going to end up top 5 ever in scoring. Maybe.
Because at this point, who are his competitors? It's Barkley.
It's Barkley, it's Malone.
Yeah, Malone's been in 3 finals.
It's Chris Paul.
Yeah. Patrick Ewing.
But he's had a hell of a career in terms of his individual stuff.
His own teammate, maybe Westbrook, is probably in the same conversation.
Yeah, because don't get me started
Steve Nash.
Don't get me started on the Westbrook disrespect. I love Russell Westbrook. He's obviously not the same player anymore, but I loved prime Russell Westbrook.
City says hot take Thunder are winning it all.
I don't see it.
There's no way that like Chet's gonna guard Jokic in a like a best of 7.
I think legitimately the Nuggets would win in 5 versus them too. I don't think because I think the Lakers would have beat the Thunder in 5 or 6 because I just don't think Chet can guard anybody that's actually like big and skilled down there.
Yet, I agree. He
has to put on some weight because I mean, you saw, and I'm a big don't worry about the regular season person with the playoffs. Like when we talked about the Pacers Bucks, I still think the Bucks win that series with Giannis. I do. I'm sorry, Pacers fans. I root for the Pacers, but I still think the Bucks win it with Giannis. I just don't think they can guard an elite big. Like Chet can guard an elite big. And when Chet's out, you think Jalen Williams is stopping Jokic or even slowing him down whatsoever? Because Anthony Davis did as good a job as you can do on Jokic, and he averaged 28-point triple-double in the playoffs or in the series.
Yeah.
And am I wrong? That was about as good a job as you can do on Jokic. Because he didn't seem that like impactful all the time throughout the series. Like it didn't seem like his normal Jokic throughout the whole series. And I don't see a way Chet's gonna stop Jokic at all.
Yeah. So we're at 10. Do you need to bounce?
No, I'm good, man.
Okay. All right. So this conversation, this has just come up 2 or 3 times in the chat. And I don't know, maybe this is my Grey Goose flowing. I think the Wolves can beat the Nuggets. I'm not picking them to. I think they can beat the Nuggets.
They definitely have a shot.
They definitely can.
The
Nuggets, the Lakers exposed the Nuggets. They lost in 5. All right. Also, I saw Sydney comment this way earlier about the gentleman's sweep. Last year was an overreaction how close that series was. This legitimately was the closest 5-game series in the history of the NBA. I don't care what you say.
I agree.
Like, the Lakers are not that much worse. Like, it's just late game execution which separates the two. That is all it is.
Coaching.
It's coaching. That made it a 5-game to a 7-game series. I'm not saying the Lakers were going to win, but if it goes 7, anything could happen. I'm not betting against LeBron James in Game 7. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I think the Wolves can beat him too. And Anthony Edwards has arrived. That guy is good.
Would you guys say that this is probably, if you were going to watch one of the series in the playoffs, this would be the one to watch?
Oh, 1,000%. Because
I'm not gonna lie. This or that 76ers Knicks series. This series is so good.
Yeah. This is the one chance we had of the Nuggets losing. And look, I think the Celtics are tremendous. I don't think the Celtics can beat the Nuggets.
Without Porzingis, especially his health is a concern, they're not beating the Nuggets.
Yeah. I just think that when you look at, so go down the list of like both these teams, right? And if you look at obviously Murray, Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., those guys are, obviously great. But like, if you look at the Minnesota side, go past their starting 5 and you're still talking about guys who could play.
Yeah.
I mean, Nickeil Alexander-Walker was awesome.
Bro, he doesn't miss.
It was so good in that Phoenix series.
I took Suns money line game 3 and 4, and I was pissed because of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He doesn't miss.
Yeah, it's like he's been tremendous.
Also, why was he not in the rotation last year?
I know.
He was really good on the Pelicans. Why was he randomly not on the rotation when he got traded to Timberwolves? Made no sense.
Mike Conley's all of a sudden 27 years old again.
I love him. I want Mike Conley to get a ring too.
I do too, man. I do too. I know this is gonna be frowned upon. I love that Ohio State team he was on. I love that team. They were awesome.
Money's hilarious. Did you see what Big Money said?
Oh, whatever you guys are drinking. Hey, he also said Rudy's clamping Jokic. So I mean, he's got the same wavelength that we do here.
Big Money, get you a bottle of Goose. Bottle of Goose.
I'm a dad now, all right? Like I'm just drinking White Claws. Come on.
See, I'm a college age kid here. Strictly, my vodka mixed drinks. That's how I get loose a little bit.
Dude,
All you youngins.
but like, I just think that when you look at the series, so obviously the first thing everyone's gonna say is who's gonna guard Jokic, and you're fine there. Like you're obviously not wrong. I think Rudy Gobert, Cat, it's gonna take a combination there. Aaron Gordon's probably a better offensive rebounder than Cat, but if you go like, okay, like you're gonna have Jamal Murray in situations switch onto Anthony Edwards. That's barbecue chicken. Anthony Edwards is gonna cook him. And you know who wants to win this series really bad? Anthony Edwards. You know who wants to add that notch to his legacy this early in his career? Anthony Edwards. Guess what? He's the face of American basketball when LeBron leaves. When LeBron, Durant, and Curry move on, he is next in line for American basketball. He is the guy.
I 100% agree with you.
Dude, and you look at like, he has made Mike Conley, like, made his life easier. He's not, I wouldn't say he's a good defender. Would I say like I would like take him to win a one-on-one defensive contest? No. Yeah,
but he cares. He cares. That is
freaking
so
he will try his hardest, man.
But the biggest thing that sets him apart, though, is just the chip on the shoulder, man. He has that stab you in the back mentality that a lot of guys do not have. I would say Russell Westbrook had it at one point.
I'm curious. I'm about to
win at all costs. I don't care.
For this series, I'll probably throw $100 on the T-Wolves to win this series. I'm not
big money. Big money says SCG not the face of the NBA. We're talking American guys. SG is Canadian.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you look at that Canada team,
also the Knicks or the 76ers are up at the half. Sean declared it over at the beginning of this podcast.
It's over. Still over.
The 76ers are winning.
By the way, we'll get to Olympic talk later on in a couple weeks. That Canada team's going to medal. They're good. Their roster's good. Yeah, dude, I just think that when you look at this, like, and so the Thunder Mavericks series, I think is going to be a good one. But like you said, Sean, if you look on the Eastern Conference side of things, so Indiana's going to play Philly or New York. I love what the Pacers have done. I don't think either of those teams they can beat either of those teams. Whoever wins this Cleveland Orlando series is going to play Boston, even without Porzingis. I don't see maybe a game, but I don't see how like Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland beat the Celtics. Like
the Celtics are going to walk into the NBA Finals. There's no way they're not.
No,
I think the Knicks could beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals.
You really think the Knicks could beat the Celtics?
Okay. I will say the Knicks
I wouldn't bet on it.
I will say this.
Okay.
Julius Randle, my guy Julius Randle has gotten so much slander the last couple of years. They are desperately missing Julius Randle right now. Like badly missing Julius Randle. They're just missing that second score bad. Like Julius Randle's a good player, and I think people forgot he's really good.
Parker, you are the number one, like, not
Kentucky
even
supporter.
Kentucky, like, stan, no matter what.
You're like,
you're like, you know who the Knicks need? Julius Randle.
He's like,
they do.
He's like, dude,
I agree with you.
He's like, if I'm the Spurs and I win the lottery, I'm taking Reed Shepherd number one.
No, on that one, I was confused when he was the number one pick in the mock drafts. I was confused.
Okay, I'm more confused now because people are talking about Donovan Clingan going number one overall.
Where is that?
The tall kid from Connecticut? Like, people love him right now.
No, where is that? I've been seeing the Bulls getting him at 11.
I would take him in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. But at 1?
Yeah, I saw it.
Reed Shepherd than him.
Yeah, I would for sure take Reed. I would take Rob Dillingham over him.
He is taking Antonio Reeves. All right, Antonio Reeves is a second-round pick here. I'm just playing. I'm playing, Sydney.
What did you think about Chris Livingston playing for the Bucks at the end of the game today? Yeah?
He was solid. I didn't watch those. I turned it off when Halliburton didn't cover his points assists because he had 6 in the second half. But, yeah, Chris Livingston, great player.
I'm only taking your baseball bets right now for what it's worth.
I'm on fire, Tim.
You are. I know because my Fanatics account looks very nice of late.
My baseball bets have been on fire recently. Yeah, 14-3 run.
Yeah. It's just like it's so stupid because Fanatics doesn't do putouts; they only do strikeouts for pitcher props. So I just have to see whatever.
I love the pitching outs props. They're easy to read.
Yeah, they are. Well, we had like a fun thing where we were going to look at the revisionist history of like legendary playoff Rondo, but we're already way over time.
You want to do like a few minutes of it?
We
Like
could.
just Sean,
Go for it. Go for it.
Big Money says he's got a quick question.
All right, go ahead, Big Money.
Yeah, we got to hear this question because Big Money has been a great conversation. Like we don't
Big
do
Money,
where
did you find us from, Big Money? Where did you find us from?
Good point, because we're like this is like a Red centric podcast. Are you a Reds fan? By 5'10", I would say you're not.
I think he probably saw my Twitter if he's talking about betting.
Yeah, when you bet, what's a good strategy?
What's a good strategy? Let's say I got 300 for a day. So you need to find out what your unit size is. So like unit size is how much you're going to place per bet. So like if you're extremely confident in something, you want to throw more units on it and everything like that. I found you from your YouTube shorts, bro. Appreciate it.
Gangster. Cool,
Appreciate
man.
it. But you want to find out what your unit size is. So like, let's say you have 300. I would probably like, if you're, obviously bet anything you're comfortable losing, because there's plenty of days I don't win any money and I lose my money. But find out your unit size, place that every single day. So like if you're 300 a day, I'd say like $50 a unit. Place that. More confident straight bets, I'd throw 2 units, so 100 on stuff, and then just you'll make money from there. And don't parlay. Don't fall into the trap of parlaying.
Never.
Don't do it. I always place like 1 to 2 parlays a day. But majority of what I place is straight bets. Like I place a parlay or 2, like just because like they hit sometimes.
You never know. Yeah.
But place your heavy units on straight bets, because that's how you'll be profitable long term. And the greatest thing that ever happened was sports betting becoming legal in Kentucky.
True that, man. True that. So for those who are just kind of checking out, by the way, for us, the 3 of us here, we haven't been able to do the show a whole lot of late just because life's been busy. Coming from where we came from with 48 Minutes Network to being here on the riverfront, we've never had an audience like this before. Like this is the greatest show we've ever done. And we've been doing this for 9 years. So like to be talking NBA basketball. And the 3 of us, we're worked over there. It's something I'm very proud of. I still rock the gear. So to get a chat like this is something we dreamt of all these years. So thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Thank you guys very much.
This is super cool. So for those who haven't listened to NBA Friday, we do a thing where we normally try to do like one segment on current stuff, one segment we do a flashback, and then we'll finish the show with the starting 5, which is like our fantasy draft. We're probably way too long on time to do that. Which we'll bring that back in our next episode. But on our flashback segment, we just always pull up a different player, different era, different things, just kind of talk about. So I thought it was fitting with it being postseason time that we can go look back at the legacy of playoff Rajon Rondo, because it was a switch. And I think anyone who tries to discredit it is lying to themselves, because the switch was real. And it's not even the championships he won with Boston and LA. If you just look at what he did, and Sean and I can attest to this, like, he doesn't get hurt when he's with that year with the Bulls. They might beat the Celtics. They were up 2-0. They won both games in Boston. He was tremendous. He was awesome. Yep. That New Orleans team that wiped Portland off the floor, and they were down DeMarcus Cousins from his ACL injury. I mean, his Achilles injury, and they wiped Portland off the floor with Lillard and McCollum. And then, obviously the Mavs year is kind of the one thing is his downfall. But I think when you look at what he has been able to do, obviously we know him as like one of the most intelligent basketball players of all time. Truthfully, one of my favorite players of all time. And I know that's kind of weird to say considering like his legacy as the Boston Celtics point guard. We all know how I feel about the Celtics. And also I'm not a Kentucky fan either.
You love the Celtics.
Yeah, and I'm not a Kentucky fan either.
For some reason I love Kentucky hater though.
I would definitely not. I wouldn't say like I don't root for them to lose, but like they're not my team. But I think that you can make the case that on his playoff resume alone, Rajon Rondo is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, 100%. Like the thing that comes to mind, seriously, that Bulls series, they were up 2-0. Rondo got hurt.
Yeah, broke his thumb.
They were going to beat the Celtics in the first round that series. I don't think that's that crazy of a take. The second thing that comes to mind, because I'm not even going to talk about Rondo when he was obviously in his prime and was a top 5 point guard in the NBA. That Lakers run was incredible. Like he was the 3rd best player on the Lakers championship team. No, Sydney.
Yeah, he literally like bubble Rondo, and he's also like anytime he's on a podcast, I listen because just hearing him talk basketball is incredible.
He's
He was
well,
on
he's a smart dude. Like he's
for
so
sure.
smart.
Yeah, and so like, all right, so Sean, we can talk about this on 2 occasions on both sides of being for and anti Rondo because from our team. So that 7-game series, Derrick Rose's rookie year. We've been on record, so we feel like that's the greatest first round series of all time. He also has said it's his favorite series he's ever played in because he loved the challenge of guarding Derrick Rose.
He went toe to toe with Rose that series. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah,
that's one of the first series I remember watching too. Like
dude,
that series
so
is one of the first series like I visibly like remember caring and watching every game of that series. That series was awesome. The Bulls took him to 7 games as a rookie. Derrick Rose. That series was awesome. Rajon Rondo like proved like that guy was so good. And then the thing about his later stages of his career is he became such a not a good shooter, but such a clutch shooter. Like he would hit timely threes with the Lakers run and that Celtic or the Bulls series there. And even we're not even mentioning him and Anthony Davis were such a good combo together.
Dude.
And Anthony Davis has like said multiple times that's his favorite teammate of all time outside of LeBron because he says like LeBron was his idol growing up, so like that's his favorite. But he's said multiple times Rajon Rondo is one of his favorite teammates of all time. And I mean, I wish the Lakers hired him. I really do. I wish he wanted to coach.
That so he has like
I'm kind of mad also he retired so early because I still think he'd have something to give.
So
I really do. There's no way he's fallen off that much in 2 years. There's no way.
So look at when he gets traded to the Cavs in the middle of that year. They're like middle of the pack. They're okay. He goes there. They've got Mobley at this point because it's that draft year.
Was that the year they lost in the play-in when they were the
Atlanta.
7th seed?
Yeah.
But they were the 7th seed and then they lost 2 straight games in the play-in. Is that year?
Yeah. And so he elevated that team so much. Like he made Garland immediately better. And that team was that close to making the playoffs. And if you like hear those, and like he talks about those guys all the time, he's like, he talks about that he always wanted to elevate the young guys. And he is like, these are my young dudes. I wanted to lift them up. So a lot of people will probably remember the drama of that Bulls team that Sean and I are talking about, the D Wade Butler team win. It was D Wade and Butler against the rest of the team. Rondo went to bat for all the young guys. And he was like, give these guys a chance. And look, he got benched for sticking up for those guys. Like he was benched for 2 months of that season. Isaiah Cannon was the starting point guard over him. But when it came to the playoffs, he stepped in to his thing. And then that first year at the Lakers, the year that everyone remembers as kind of being this disaster year, really was only like that when LeBron got hurt. They were pretty darn good until LeBron got hurt. He went to LeBron when LeBron was yelling at all these kids in practice. They're like, dude, do you understand? Like, you're their idol. Like, they looked up to you. Like, you got to be easier on these dudes. And like, he was the guy that did that. And so when he finally got the chance to play in the playoffs with the Lakers, it's just like, and like you talked about Rich Parker, like, so yeah, LeBron, yeah, Davis, but like Rondo in that finals against Miami is so good.
And that Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
The Nuggets.
For sure. Like him and KCP were awesome in that series. And he just always found ways, and like the way he drew plays up. And one of the things he talked about when he was on JJ Redick's pod that I always laughed at from that series. So he was talking about him and LeBron were sitting in their hotel room in the bubble, watching the Heat and Celtics series go through because they had already won. They were kind of just waiting for a couple, like to see who they were going to play. And he was like, Bron and I are sitting there. And I'm like, hey, if we have to play the Boston, I got Brad Stevens. I know what he's going to want to do. And LeBron's like, yeah, if we got Miami, I got Spo. I know what he's going to want to do.
Yeah.
And so I always thought that was kind of awesome, like the way they talked about that and just like his basketball IQ and just time after time after time. I like to ignore the fact he played for the Clippers and the Hawks. I don't ever remember those times on purpose. But yeah,
bad memories.
Just like year in, year out, if that dude was in the playoffs, and I know a lot of people like make fun of the playoff Rondo nickname, but it was real, man. It was if you were around for it, it was real.
He'll be an NBA coach at some point. I would put a lot of money on it.
He will. I I will always regard him as one of the most pure point guards of the last couple of decades in terms of
One of
what
the
he's done.
last.
Yeah.
One of the
pure
last,
point
and
guards.
and just an incredible defender, incredible teammate. People loved playing with him. I think honestly, like, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are in the Hall of Fame right now, that probably are a little bit teetering. Like, I would say someone like Rondo, I wouldn't mind seeing him in the Hall of Fame with what he did over the last, 20 years and two championships, four all-star games, multiple all defensive teams. Like, he's got quite
Assist
the
champion,
resume.
steals champion.
Yeah, he was in 2010, he had the steals thing. He was the NBA assist leader for 3 years, NBA second team 2 years. I mean, he was never a big scorer. I mean, he ended his career averaging 9 points, 7 assists and 4 rebounds, but he was so consistent for so long.
And that 2010 Celtics team, he was the best player on that team that went to the finals. He was their best player.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Also the thing about Rondo, the thing about Rondo is he was I know he had that Mavericks run with Carlisle where he butted heads bad and he had some bad moments there.
And everybody thought that was the end of it too. Like, everybody thought, like, well, that's it. He's out.
The thing about him is he was just he was relentless with his work ethic. He was relentless with everything. Like, if you look at the end of his career, I mean, he was a 40% 3-point shooter his last season in the NBA. Like, and that guy could not shoot at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was relentless with his work ethic. Another thing about Rondo, in terms of the NBA Hall of Fame, in my opinion, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Because the NBA Hall of Fame is a lot different than the Baseball Hall of Fame and the NFL Hall of Fame. It's not the same whatsoever.
Right.
He has a comparable career to a lot of guys that are first ballot Hall of Famers, and I think Rondo is a first ballot NBA Hall of Fame.
I'm with you.
I like it.
I really do. Even though he didn't even score 10,000 points in the NBA.
Didn't need to.
Yeah. Didn't have to.
He was a hell of a passer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just unbelievably intelligent about basketball. Just so awesome. So, all right, dudes, I think we can go ahead and wrap this here. Everyone, again, this is awesome. We've 90 people hanging out tonight watching the show. We've never had that before.
Amazing.
So this is great. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Let's do us dorks talk basketball. We definitely appreciate it. By the way, check out everything we're doing here at the Riverfront. I mean, I know a lot of you guys are in the Patreon and check us out. And we really appreciate that. Whether it's, me with Late Night Reds or Parker now being on Welcome to the Jungle. We're definitely appreciate all the support and everything there. So be sure to check out all of our shows. Check us out here on YouTube and subscribe if you haven't already. Check everything out we do. We have a lot of fun. And if you're listening to whatever app you listen to, check us out there and stay tuned for a big announcement in the next couple weeks that we're working on. So on behalf of Sean, on behalf of Parker, this is Tim Daniel. Thanks again, everyone. Have an awesome night, and we'll talk soon.
See you guys.